Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Fresh off of a day going 4 for 6, could have been 5 for 7, but that Jimmy Butler injury did not look good. So we're back here today. I got 6 more picks for you for January the 20th, 2026, and we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Looking at the first game of the day, or second game, I should say, excuse me, and that is going to be using the LA Clippers to attack a bad defense here in the Chicago Bulls. Not only are they a bad defense, they're my number 2 overall team to target when you're facing them as an opponent, because they give up the 5th most points. The Chicago Bulls do give up the 5th most points, and they play at the 5th fastest pace. So you couple that together, it's a top 2 team to attack when you're looking at a matchup here. And man, Harden, 30.5 points per game, but he's hit this line in back-to-back games with no Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard got sent home from the road trip, so it's going to be another game without Kawhi, where Harden here is going to be the engine. Just had 31 against Toronto, now 36 against Washington today. By the way, his PRA cashed us out, and you can go ahead and take this line at 30.5 points. That's going to be my first play of the day. You could dabble into some points assist, but I like straight points here today at 30.5 for our first play. Next up, we have this Timberwolves game where we're going to be attacking a Utah Jazz defense that is statistically the only team better to attack when you're looking at matchups to look at than the Chicago Bulls. They're number 1, and the reason they're number 1 is because they play at the 2nd fastest pace in the NBA, and they give up the most points per game. This defense is bad. We talked about it last night where the Spurs were playing them. I said Wemby or Fox, whichever one you want. Wemby is the one I went with, and he absolutely cashed it out. We did talk about Fox, but Wemby was the guy that I liked and went with, and Wemby had like 34. His line was like 26. He cashed it out in the third quarter. It was easy. So today, we are once again attacking this Utah Jazz team. You can get in to the points rebounds here because they do play at a really fast pace, but again, I like straight points. They are not top 10 in terms of opponents rebounds per game, so we're going to stay away from the points rebounds lines here. We're going to go right at number 1, Anthony Edwards, who just dropped 55 on the Spurs, but before that, it had been kind of tough sledding for him. He's bursting out of the slump. I'm going to go with him to score more than 29.5 points, yet again, dropping 30 against this Jazz team that, like I said, they don't play much defense. This is a team that just likes to score. They don't really entertain themselves too much with defense, so that's why I'm going with Anthony Edwards, and also Julius Randle. Again, you could go with the points rebounds here for Julius Randle, but coming off of a 17-point outing against the San Antonio Spurs, he had 39 against the Rockets and 29 against the Bucks. This is a guy that I think is going to bounce back from that 17-point performance. Both he and Ant. Really, you could take any of these Timberwolves. I'm definitely taking Ant. Probably going to take Randle. You can go Naz Reid, you can go Dante, you can go Jaden. Really, all of them are probably going to go off. But again, I don't want to take role players. I tend to try and take either the leading scorer or the second leading scorer on a team. In this case, we're going with Julius Randle, and we're going with Anthony Edwards. Now, moving on to this Sacramento Kings game down here, where they do play the Miami Heat, and Miami is normally a pretty solid squad, and we are going to take advantage of Domantas Sabonis coming back from injury for this 13.5 points. So this will be his 3rd game back playing a Miami team that, if we look here, is first in terms of pace. They have completely flipped the script from last year. They play at the fastest pace in the league, and so we're attacking that with Domantas Sabonis. And then second off, they give up a bunch of opponents' points per game because they play at the fastest pace. They give the 9th most opponents' points per game. It's a solid defense, and of course they have Davion Mitchell, so we're going to stay away from Kings guards. You could go with Levine, you could go with DeMar. I'd be fine with either, but again, be wary of Davion Mitchell because his nickname's Off Night for a reason. That's why we stayed away from Steph Curry tonight. That's why we went with Jimmy Butler, because he's a forward. Unfortunately, the injury happened. Very tough situation, but we are going to go with points rebounds for this one because the Miami Heat, with that very fast play, that very fast pace, do give up the 5th most opponents' rebounds per game. So we are going to go, where is he at? With Domantas Sabonis, over 22.5 points rebounds. That feels pretty low to me. couple more here, and we're going to the Miami, or we're going to stay here, actually, with the Miami Heat Sacramento King game. And Sacramento doesn't play at an extremely fast pace, but they do give up a ton of opponents' rebounds per game. Miami's 5th in opponents' rebounds per game, while Sacramento is 6th. And so that's why we're going over here to the rebounds column, and we're going to find Bam Adebayo and go ahead and take that. See, look at that. Prizepicks trying to trick you. Nah, give us the demon. Ooh, 11.5. You know what? We're going to go with it. We're going to go with 11.5. If you can get 10.5, 7.5, that'd be great. Either one. But we're going to go with the demon here. As you can see, Prizepicks trying to get you to take the goblin and not giving out a solid line. If you can, like I said, get it down to 10.5, 9.5 would be great. But hey, even at 11.5, I like this line for Bam Adebayo. Should be a quick game because the Heat play at the fastest pace in the league, and the Sacramento Kings give up the 6th most rebounds without playing at a top 10 pace, which lets you know they're terrible at rebounding. So give me Bam Adebayo there. You can take the increased line if you want. You can take another Heat big if you want as well, but there's not a ton of great options here. Kel'el Ware wouldn't be a bad one to look at for rebounds, but I don't see him. So, yeah, Prizepicks keeping that one off the board, just like they kept the Mitchell Robinson line off the board today that I really wanted to attack. And then finally, we're going to this Phoenix Suns game back up here at 7 o'clock, and we're going to hit up the rebounds line for Mark Williams at 8.5. That's going to be the final play of the day. Philadelphia gives up the 8th most opponents' rebounds per game. They play at about average league pace, so that's a guy you can look to exploit. Again, I usually try to stick to stars, but when it comes to rebounds, I will take the center from time to time with Mark Williams right here, former Hornet. Is Jalen Green back in the lineup tomorrow? That'll be a fun game. You could also look at Ivica Zubac down here, but we're going to stay away from it. This is going to be our 6-leg parlay, or you can do what I do and break it up and bet on them one at a time. Again, Bam, if you can get the 9.5 line, take it. If not, and you're feeling dangerous, go ahead and take the 11.5. But we're looking at the Timberwolves versus the Jazz. We're taking the 2 stars there. Harden without Kawhi seems to be a cheat code, and then Domantas Sabonis taking advantage of that low line and getting some money there. So yeah, $20 to win $860. That'd be a big one. Remember the rules. If I make you money, you got to come hit the subscribe button. And if you use this analysis, you have to hit that like button on today's video. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching.